I look to my companions and I say, guys, I perceive that Virgil's not here and that he didn't leave of his own accord and that he was taken by someone.
To Gonad Blighter and goes, were you a slave in the pits?
I say,
Folan is going to step forward.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first off, JD, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Would I have any inkling as to the monetary value of a pit fighter in this context?
Because you rolled so well on your investigation, you do.
Okay. Can we even remotely afford to buy him?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Questionable.
You know that he's worth right around 350 to 400 gold.
We don't have that much, JD. I asked you if we could afford.
You could afford him if you did more work. You could afford him, though.
You could afford him if we had enough money to buy him.
Yeah,
I'm going to be on lease.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So,
and you can tell these are businessmen, so they'll negotiate.
Right. I want to step forward and say to the guard captain, first off, I would like to let you know that the job that you hired us for has been completed. I do have some interesting information about the refugee camp I think you will want to hear as soon as possible.
I peek my head around Folan and I say, yeah!
Did you? And then I look to the tattooed shirtless man and
Pit.
Yeah, ask if I say
Marv,
yeah.
I was not aware that this was such a high-profile issue, but I am willing to negotiate terms for the release of this man.
half orc.
Marv kind of looks at you and his eyebrow kind of goes up and he's like, "What terms?"
Well, I believe. Hold on, I need to find the thing.
Yeah.
I don't have it written down, JD. But what's the guard captain's name?
The guard captain's name is
Brogner.
Brogner. Yeah, Brogner. Just call him Brogner.
All right. We're on a first name basis, are we?
Yeah, why not? You did a quest for him.
Brog. Come on, Brog. So,
We call him B-Dog.
yeah.
Captain Brogner is fine.
So Captain Brogner here will attest to my family's name. I'm willing to pay you 100 gold, and before you reject it, as I understand that is a pittance in what this man is actually worth, I would like to also offer a family favor from me to you.
The captain of the guard smiles, and he looks over at Marv, and then he looks back at you, and he says, "One for me too."
Now, Captain Brogner, we can have our own negotiation later. I understand you're doing your job here. I am doing my job as well.
Nods his head. And he looks over at Marv and he goes,
and I say
Marv,
the guard captain can vouch for the veracity of this offer that I am giving you.
He looks over at Marv and he says, "Yeah, he's good." He's like, "You want to do business with this man?" And Marv is he's intrigued now. He's like, "Okay, so what are your terms?"
100 gold and a small favor from my family to yours.
Okay.
With emphasis on the smallish, if you catch my drift.
He nods his head and he goes...
This is a single person we're talking about here.
He nods his head and he goes, "All right, 100 gold and I get Gonad Blighter back and you give me a favor. That sounds fair."
What?
Gonad Blighter is the favor, or at least part of it on our end.
So we give you the money to buy Gonad Blighter, and you take Gonad Blighter.
Yes. I'm allowing you to pay me 1/4 of his worth.
For you to take him.
Is he
Yes.
is he being dumb or is he being non-negotiable?
Does he not understand what commerce is?
I think
how the
he's
exchange of goods and services work?
I think Marv is saying that you're paying for the service that you've already used.
It's essentially, he's in his mind. You guys have used his product, and now you need to pay for that service. And he's normally 400 to like 350 gold, so he's allowing you to pay less than that for the amount of time you've had him.
In the past, not now.
Right.
Permanently.
Remember, JD, you said the full price of me was only what, like 300?
350 to 400.
The good, not the service.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The good.
450
an
hour.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true.
A day.
So he looks over at the captain, and the captain's like, dude, he's offering a favor. From his family name, that means a lot. And he kind of thinks about it, and he's like 120, and we'll be good.
100.
Dang.
And I'll roll persuasion if you want me to.
No, don't worry about rolling persuasion. He nods reluctantly. Because that was good, Lucas. That was really good.
Yeah, it seems like persuasion has already been rolled.
Yeah, no, it has. He's like, all right, deal. Produce the gold.
All right. For simplicity's sake, we didn't put the gold in the house. We still have it. So I will.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I will fish. We now have 15 gold between the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
So
convenient that we always get just enough money in our previous quest just to pay for the next one.
So we have 5 gold apiece, and instead of whatever it is, like transfer of ownership or whatever, like from the pit fighting, I just tell him whatever the process is, destroy the paperwork. He is no longer owned by anyone.
While Folan is speaking to Marv and the guards, I whisper in Leviticus's ear, "Dude, so I bet you're pretty mad how they roughed up your mentor and father figure, huh?"
Yeah, I was just gonna be mentioning that earlier when this whole thing started, is that it seems like there's like 2 different arcs that are kind of converging here, and it seems like the general idea of the powers that be and their plot is that there's supposed to be some division of our band or something like that going on, or we need and so I wanted to stand back and see how Folan was going to handle the situation, to see whether or not we were also going to be pulled apart in a different quest or after
that's interesting speculation. I wonder if your character will have any dialogue about any of that.
We're getting to that. Calm your tits.
Yeah, I didn't like, things were already transpiring. I didn't want to interrupt the rhythm in order to.
Yeah. So Marv kind of nods his head. He's like, all right, fine. Yeah, the paperwork get destroyed. And the captain says, I'll see to it that it happens. He looks over at you, Folan. He's like, I'll make sure that happens.
I have ceased the calamity in my memories.
Good. And then I look to the guard captain and I point blankly say, Captain Grognor, if I didn't know better, I would think you just liked beating up old men.
I lean over to I look at Gonad Blighter, and Gonad Blighter looks at me, and we're like, oh, dude!
Must everything come to blows immediately in this city?
The captain says the captain says the only thing criminals understand is blows.
And I'm really trying to like put a lid on my rage and my indignation. I'm like, you can blow me, but I say it really like under my breath.
I didn't even catch what you said.
Yes, he said it under his breath.
Okay,
yeah.
really.
Don't worry about it. So the captain takes a sword away from Verge's throat, sheathes it, says, I believe we're done here, and helps Verge back to his feet. and says your debts are paid for the work you've done, and I believe my clerk still is requesting for this month's payment, and that's all you owe. But all additional
What is that,
fees.
15 gold?
50 gold, yeah. All the additional fees
Ooh.
are
So-
gone.
We have a month
You have a month.
to make profit
Yeah.
to keep up on our payment now, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And the captain looks at you, Folan, and he goes, "It's nice to see somebody with character in this city."
Yes. And I very kind of staring at him
Nice. Verge starts to walk down the stairs, and he moves towards you, Leviticus, and you can see him kind of reaching out for you.
Yeah, I reach out and I kind of help him along, and I put my I shoulder him. I put his arm around my neck, and I kind of hold him up and ask him are you okay? And I asked him if he's okay.
He's got a stream of blood that's dried coming down his forehead, and he says, yeah, the guards came into the shop and they frightened me, and I fell and hit my head on the ground. And
I look over to go ahead, Blighter, and I look over to Folan. Yeah, and
I
okay.
told you.
So, yeah, right. So they didn't, other than taking you away, they didn't beat on you or anything like that?
Beat on me? No, they gave me tea when we were sitting inside waiting.
All right. Well, fuck them still, but all right.
All right. So you guys end up going back into the
Shop.
Yeah, probably.
yeah, into the shop. Okay.
So as we're walking and as we go inside the house, I'm looking at Virgil and Leviticus, and I say, Mr. Virgil and Leviticus, I really think it is a very good time for thoughts of retirement to be happening right now. This cannot continue. This poor man needs to be able to live in peace, and apparently there's a shitstorm around this little corner of the market right here that we do not want him in.
Well, I think Leviticus says to Folan, so if I understand what it sounds like you're thinking of proposing, there's also the issue of the service to the cause that Virgil has going on here, which was actually never addressed in this whole interaction.
Verge pipes up in the middle of this, and he slams his hand on the counter, and he looks at you, Folan, and he goes, "My father built this place from the ground up. He put everything he had into it, and he gave it to me, and it's my responsibility to keep it going." And he slams his hand on the desk again.
Do we know if Virgil got the shop when his father died, or was he just given to him?
He worked in the shop with his father.
No, I know, but
up.
when did ownership transfer?
Oh, when his father died.
Okay.
I'm still going through sort of like an emotional catharsis. I'm not really involved in the conversation. I'm in the corner over there, and I'm working on a song to try to work through my emotions. I'm like, over there, everything you own in the box over there.
All right, so
close the door.
He's in the corner making weird noises. Everybody else is having a deep-hearted conversation.
Everything you own in the box over there.
Well, Mr. Virgil, I hate to state the obvious, but you did just have a knife to your neck.
All right, I look over to
Tea and helping up from the floor after hitting your head, notwithstanding, you were put on display on the temple steps with a knife to your neck because you were in league with somebody.
So I asked Folan, what are you proposing as a solution to what's going on here?
I think Virgil needs to. He can still be somewhere relatively close by, but Virgil should not be involved in the day-to-day activities of the shop anymore.
He slams his hand on the table again and goes, "My father built this place."
Yes.
And then he begins to storm out, pushing both of you to the sides, and he goes upstairs.
And I look at Leviticus and I say, you know him better than I do. Maybe this is a futile conversation, but
Well, I
the
think
last 48 hours, that man has almost died, what, 3
a
times?
few times, yeah. And this is higher than the average.
I
yeah.
certainly hope so.
Yeah.
Good God.
Right. Good point. No, I don't entirely disagree. That he need to find a different way of keeping the shop going, other than him trying to manage it himself and or me just by myself. So, are you? What are you suggesting specifically in details? Because I think if I had a better idea of what it is that you're thinking about changing the situation to, then I might be able to have a better idea of how to sell it to him.
Well, I think, at least for the time being, and I know that Virgil is not going to want to hear this, and I point to the closet with the singing half-work in it. We've already been tagged as dealing with escaped slaves because of this.
Right.
If they even so much as catch another whiff of that, all of us are going away forever.
So I don't think the solution is to stop, just to stop helping free slaves entirely, but we should probably reorganize like how we're doing.
Now, here's the thing. I cannot sit here. The less I know about this, the better. Do you understand me? Because if I go in to a meeting with someone in that guard post and start getting grilled about this sort of thing, I'm sorry, I am not taking the fall for you or Mr. Blighter over there.
Interesting. I hear what you're saying. Okay.
Tone it down. The old man needs to take a break. Everybody needs to cool off.
So I'm just catching the tail end of this conversation. But I'm getting the idea that the freedom of this man, the old fella, the shop owner, is in question right now. And I'm just a lowly slave.
No, you're a free man now.
But I know what it's like to have your freedom taken away from you. And you got to think, how are you going to feel when you're that age and some kid rolls up and says that you can't own your shop anymore? You can't run. You can't drive your car anymore. Don't ask me what a car is. I don't even know. I just made it up. But, you gotta consider how you'd feel when that's your time, man. Your number's going to come up one day. I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't been paying attention to the conversation. I'm just saying, I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I again, as Leviticus, I say to Folan, I think, yeah, I agree with you that at least in regard to managing the shop itself at front, that I should probably take charge and take ownership of the shop and all of its affairs, and relieve Virginia of his workload.
Yeah.
As you guys are talking, Verge comes down the stairs, and he's kind of like, you can tell he's like pissed off, and
slamming cupboards and
yeah, and like walking down the stairs, like really like slamming his feet, and he leaves and he disappears into the streets.
You know, guys, this reminds me of a song. That old man quit trying. He just turned away. There were teardrops on his face. Tell me how you'd feel. You probably gave up too.
Yes, thank you.
Nobody
thank you.
believed.
Hey, can I mute the half orc? I want to mute the half orc.
There is a spell that mutes people, I think.
I know there is. I'm going to learn it.
Cool. I'm like, yeah, gonna have Blighter. Thanks, but we need to keep moving on. And I kind of like, but without anybody noticing, kind of like wipe a tear away from my eye.
Yeah. So I want to get both Gonad Blighter and Leviticus together.
Yeah.
Leviticus, this is mostly for you. Some for Gonad Blighter as well.
Okay.
If you expect me to continue helping with the general issues that we've been dealing with,
Which have all come, I acknowledge, from the troubles rooting from Virginia and what he's got going on.
yeah. The Underground Railroad has to stop.
So
Catch my drift.
I put my hands up in the air. I'm like, whoa! Whoa!
I do not need any information whatsoever about what happens with the Underground Railroad from this day forward.
yeah, I say to Leviticus says to Folan, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and we're totally going to stop.
But please, seriously. Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
I don't.
You'll never hear another thing about it.
I don't
And,
catch. I don't catch on to any of the what you're getting at, and I'm just like I just can't contain how I'm feeling about what I'm hearing. I'm just like,
Man, high elf privilege. It's showing itself. It's on display.
No,
It's finally coming out.
No, I turn to Gonad Blighter and I'm like, shh, it's all right, man. I'll explain it to you later, but
You're gonna elf-splain to me later. Is that what's going on?
Okay,
no,
all right.
man.
All right.
Totally cool.
Elf
I hear
All right. So we're gonna kind of wrap things up here. What do you guys do for the rest of the night?
None of your business.
Is there anything particular you want to do? Maybe take some potions so you have them next time, or
I mean, is there stock in the?
There's a bit. Yeah, you guys could probably take like 6.
But we need to make money to pay the damn rent for next month, right? Like there has to be some stock to sell.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Which is the other thing we need to work on, Leviticus, is whether or not we can get this thing up afloat again.
Right. So that's something I'm not quite. So is that part of the whole? Like Matthew is asking, is that part of the quest? Is that part of the world? Is that part of the story? Is that we're going to be running a day-to-day business, or?
That's something that you guys decide. If you guys want to ditch this completely, you can convince Verge to sell, or convince, or just leave Verge. I mean, it's up to you. Like, would your character do that? Probably not. But if there's a bigger calling, there's really no other option.
Have you ever heard the term Leviticus location?
I've heard that word before, but it sounds like you said it 3 times just now.
Yes.
So what do you mean by that?
Sell this building and easily retire somewhere outside the city, on the edge of the city, maybe even one of the lesser, not affluent by any means, but one of the more comfortable areas of the city for the rest of his life.
But has anybody asked if that's what Verge wants to do?
We know that's not what Verge wants. He made it clear when he stormed out the door just now.
Yeah, you were in the closet when he was saying that.
my point is, he could make a small fortune selling this building because it is literally on the city square.
So I've got an idea. Leviticus have an idea that I would not be able to explain the entire thing to Folan, but I would.
That's fine. It's just something to think about. Like this
Right.
is, if we wanted to go that route, it would far and away pay for his retirement for however many years he has left, just selling the building on the village square. But again, that's selling his family inheritance, basically.
Well, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. So Leviticus has an idea now that a way to pitch this to Virgil that that might be appealing to him and would give everybody what they're looking for, I think.
You don't run away from your problems, you run towards them.
I agree with you, Gonad Blighter. That's very commendable.
Maybe.
And I think that there's a way to run towards our problems, and it's something I'm learning. I've learned in my monk studies is that the way to one of the best defenses of an attack is to redirect it instead of blocking it. So we're going to try that.
The captain walks out and he's like, "What can I do for you guys?"
Captain Brognar, would it be possible to have a private meeting with you regarding the refugee camp?
Of course.
And I'm going to say, into the stone, I'm going to say, initial report complete, requesting drop-off location.
Like and subscribe. Find out what happened last time over there. And if you want to find what is going to happen next time, then click over there. And we stream on Twitch. And the links are down below. Do you like my picture?